As today, the referees gave the report on the situation, and it's even worse. It's even worse than I imagined, and it was.
The WNBA referees have just released their official report on the Connecticut Sun incident, and it's somehow even more troubling than expected. Their explanations for targeting Caitlin Clark while seemingly protecting her aggressors are so absurd that fans are outraged. This report confirms many of the suspicions about biased and potentially corrupt officiating within the league.
JC Sheldon's foul upgrade to flagrant one. In the judgment of the officials, the foul by Sheldon was unnecessary. The contact to Clark's face. Furthermore, there was a wind-up and impact, and the contact to face carries potential for injury. How did you come to the conclusion that that is a flagrant one? How did you come up to the conclusion that it was unnecessary, there was a wind-up, and it was to the face? The three of them that is a flagrant 2. By definition, you've described.
When my video hit 47 minutes and 2 seconds, just 2 minutes and 21 seconds after seeing the referee's pathetic explanations, I had to ask, is the WNBA deliberately trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark? The official referee report from the Connecticut Sun vs. Indiana Fever game just dropped, and let me tell you, it's the most damning piece of evidence yet pointing to corrupt officiating in the WNBA. These referees didn't just fail at their jobs, they exposed themselves as blatantly biased against Caitlin Clark while simultaneously protecting the players who assaulted her. Let me break down this absolute joke of a report, because every single explanation makes the officiating look worse than it already did. The refs essentially admitted to everything fans have been screaming about, all while somehow thinking their justifications made sense. It's like watching someone confess to a crime while insisting they're innocent. First, let's talk about their explanation for why JC Sheldon's eye-gouging a
contact. Wind up and unnecessary. The two of those can be a flagrant 2. And face. You have described why was it a flagrant 2. You have just described a flagrant 2 as your answer.
The criteria for a flagrant 2 foul include unnecessary contact, wind-up, and potential for injury. The referees literally listed all 3 in their explanation for not calling it a flagrant 2. It's like saying someone committed murder but only charging them with jaywalking. Their reasoning lacks all logic and clearly exposes how predetermined their decision was. What makes this even more infuriating is that Sheldon's attack had nothing to do with basketball. Clark was dribbling with her left hand when Sheldon clawed her right eye. The ball wasn't even close to where the contact occurred. This wasn't incidental contact during play, it was a deliberate attempt to injure the league's biggest star. Yet somehow, the refs found a way to downplay it. Now let's look at their pathetic excuse for not ejecting Marina Mabrey, who sprinted across the court and body-checked Clark to the ground during a dead ball. The refs claimed Mabrey's contact did not rise to the level of an ejection and didn't me.
Detail what you mean by get control of the game, just to be in your words.
Get control of the game is call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Right, and consistently call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Okay, not just if somebody swings and misses, right? Consistently call the fouls.
The referees essentially penalized Caitlin Clark for being the victim of assault. She got scratched in the eye, belly bumped by Sheldon, then blindsided by Mabrey, all while holding her injured eye. Her crime? Not silently accepting the abuse. This is victim blaming taken to a new extreme. The explanation for Tina Charles's technical foul was equally bizarre. According to the refs, Charles ran toward Clark in an unsportsmanlike manner. So now, pointing and walking toward someone is a technical, but clawing someone's eye or body checking them is basketball? The double standard is so blatant it's insulting. The only call they got right was the flagrant 2 on Sophie Cunningham. They admitted her contact was unnecessary and excessive, which it clearly was. Sophie grabbed Sheldon around the neck, retaliating for what had been done to Clark. But here's the irony, Sophie's action was punished appropriately, while the original assaults were minimized. Even worse, the refs admitted they lost con. None of the chaos would have followed. Sophie wouldn't have needed to retaliate. Instead, the refs failed to protect a player, and the players felt the need to police themselves. Sophie did what the refs should have done: stand up for her teammate. This pattern has followed Clark into her second WNBA season. She gets hammered with contact that would earn flagrant fouls for others, yet when she reacts, she gets hit with technicals. The double standard is so consistent, it's become predictable. The international implications are real. Basketball fans around the world are watching how the WNBA treats its biggest star, and it's embarrassing. When your most marketable player is targeted with dirty plays and then penalized for reacting, it undermines the league's credibility on a global scale. Social media's reaction to the referee report has been overwhelmingly negative. Fans are mocking the league, pointing out how absurd the officiating was. When officiating becomes a laughingstock, it questions. This level of incompetence is almost unprecedented. Clark should be focusing on developing her game and winning championships, not worrying about whether referees will protect her. The way she's being treated stands in stark contrast to how similar situations with lesser-known players are handled, and yes, the international basketball community is watching. This kind of bias doesn't stay contained. It shapes how people around the world perceive American women's basketball. What's most maddening is that this referee report confirms everything fans have said. The refs basically admitted to bias, yet thought their excuses made it okay. It's like confessing to a crime and insisting you're innocent. The long-term damage to the WNBA's reputation is real. When your own officials prove fans right about corruption, every game they touch is now suspect. Fans are questioning whether results are legitimate or pre-decided. The fact that we're even having this conversation shows how far the league still